Welcome back, everybody, here to your coverage of the Dota 2 Championship League. I'm your host for your English live stream tonight, TobiWan Kenobi, bringing you your live stream for game number 3. It is the boys from America and what can be classed as the #1 team coming out of America, Team Liquid, going up against the guys who finished in the top 8 at TI3, also decimated in Korea recently, and now is looking to really prove something and prove something big here in the D2CL. It is the team Fnatic going up against them. Let's jump ourselves straight over into the game. It is drafting time, and I'll welcome in my co-caster for our night. We bring him in because he has extra insight when it comes to the teams, especially teams like Team Liquid from America. Want to give a big shout out to Clairvoyance. Welcome to the broadcast, man. Welcome to the broadcast.
Hello, Toby. Old buddy, old pal. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well. I'm starting to get kicked in the guts from my Korea trip. Because I didn't sleep much, and I ended up having about 14 hours sleep last night. And my body is just feeling like I'm in a slow-motion action replay. So my body's starting to slow down. Sleep. Yeah, my body's starting to slow down a little bit more. Yeah, I overslept after I underslept, which is like the worst possible thing you could ever do.
Really?
Yes, really.
It doesn't just balance mathematically like it sounds like it would?
No, you think so. You would really think so, but it doesn't. It's actually, it's quite horrible. But I'm here. I'm fighting it through. In the last game from Fnatic and Liquid, the ending to that, it's given me some inspiration to keep on going. So let's see what we get here in game number 3, man. The draft is already underway.
Yeah, man. We see the Venomancer as well as the Crystal Maiden being picked up. Arguably 2 of the best support heroes in this patch, or 2 of the most popular anyway. Visage definitely is most certainly up there with those 2, but not as popular, I'd imagine. And Liquid going back for the Mirana, the Priestess of the Moon. It didn't work out too successfully for them last night, but the playstyle the hero can give you with regards to the laning and how you can transition to the mid game with a couple spells and decent burst damage with this capability, not a bad hero. Just more strategy oriented. So I figured that if they pick up the Priestess so early with the Prophet, they certainly have something on their minds. And as you said earlier, man, Prophet is just not a hero you can pass up these days. So other heroes you can't pass up normally, or normally I like to think you can't pass up, are heroes like the Bounty and the Clockwork. But Bounty getting banned for the 3rd time and Clockwork still not getting a mention. I gotta say, I am genuinely surprised, and I'm a little bit curious, rather curious about why the Clockwork's not getting picked up by either 2 teams. Maybe it was an incident in a scrim. Perhaps both teams are not confident playing at specific servers with the hero, but still a mystery to me.
I can't enlighten.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it, man.
But we'll ask the guys later. Also, I get really freaked out by our new Storm Spirit.
Why?
Well, originally I got used to the fact that he wasn't a panda and he got this lovable kind of clownish face kind of guy, and now he just looks like a electronic pervert. It's
come on.
It's the eyes with the grin and the beard. Like you put all 3 of them together and things just look funky, man.
Looks like he's staring straight into something, huh?
No, you don't know where he's staring because of the eyes. There's no
hiding
pupils.
His senses. Yep, hiding his senses.
So like even with Venomance, like Venomance got an extra eye, extra 2 eyes in fact. So he's kind of already freaky enough as it is. But now we get the guy with the white eyes. That's kind of like look into your soul. Maybe he's a vegan. I watched Scott Pilgrim with the white eyes. That guy. All he needs like underneath that hat is like he just takes it off. He's got like these flowing, groovy, spiky style hair. It's like, yeah, yeah. You think that's static? No, it's not. It's a lot.
Well, there's another scary Yeah. Well, just be happy that the Broodmother's not in the fray yet, man. That's a scary hero. Let me tell you, I don't even have arachnophobia, but that hero clickety clicking.
I am thankful every day, man. I am thankful every single day. I also want to point something out quickly before I forget to do it again. I don't think I actually put the importance of this game because the D2CL has been going on. Obviously, I've been gone for a week too, so I haven't really felt the momentum of it all. But I don't know if people have realized, but this is actually the quarterfinals of the single elimination playoff.
Oh.
There is actually no more for the loser of this fight.
Oh.
The winner of this game will face up against the team which gets to rank #1 out of Group A. Now, Group A only has one last game to play out, and that's our next game. Alliance versus Sigma. And just to point out how much that game means as well, the loser of that match, which will be played out in a best of one, the loser of that match plays Na'Vi. The winner of that match plays the winner of this match.
Oh.
That's the way the cookie hath crumbled. And then in the lower part of the bracket, Speed Gaming went through flawlessly. They had their 4 wins, they took maximum points. So they got a direct berth into the semi-finals. Na'Vi didn't have the same thing. They qualified themselves in the 3rd position, just above Mousesports. And I say just above, they got them by 1 win. That's how close it was. So Na'Vi have to play in the quarterfinal matchup, and then if they manage to win up against the loser of the other matchup coming up next, then they have to play up against Speed Gaming in the semi-final. So yeah, if you want to check out the details for all of that, head yourself over to d2cl.org. It will show you the grid and the whole placements of it all and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, we are basically in the playoff rounds right now, and there's a lot of money up for grabs. Like I haven't got a number yet for how much money is extra, but first prize is $25,000. Second prize, $15,000. Third prize will be $7,000, and then the fourth will take $3,000. And all the prize pool will be buffed up by 20% of the ticket revenue. So if you have bought yourself a ticket for the D2CL, then you have added to the prize pool.
Wow. Those are amazing ratios for the teams.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in the top 4 placements, those are actually amazing ratios. Wow. I thought first place gets it all, and 3rd and 4th place kind of gets cookie crumbles, but maybe they're getting a piece of the pie.
Maybe, man. Maybe. We might also have some scheduling issues later on tonight, because the Dream League is having, for some reason, a conflicting schedule, which makes no sense whatsoever that it's actually managed to be this way. It turns out Liquid's playing up against Alliance in the Dream League. At the same time, Alliance is playing Sigma in the D2CL. And Liquid's still playing with us in the D2CL. So,
5 seconds remaining.
It looks like our manager's got some extra work to do. Right now, though, we'll focus on our game because we get our last pickup right now from Fnatic.
Oh, dear.
And we get a hero which we don't see much at all anymore.
Yeah, man. He's been a Phantom for a while, not just the Faceless Boy, but pretty much stuck in the Void for quite a extended duration. And I'm wondering if this could be the trump card that gives Fnatic that extra, as you would like to call it, oomph. That extra push they need right now, because boy oh boy, if they need it now just as much as ever. And honestly, with the Storm Spirit pickup, with the Windrunner last pickup, along with the Void, I am very curious as to how they're going to transition to the mid game, because as far as I'm seeing right now, Toby, their mid game, barring the Storm Spirit, a lot of squishy heroes, a lot of potential ganks. Liquid looking strong all around, maybe weaker in the lanes because Fnatic's got the better support so far, and it looks like no matter what the last pick will be, they'll still have the upper hand in that edge. But man oh man, if Liquid survive the laning stages, I feel like they're gonna transition to just having better mobility, more damage, and outright more power. That's a scary thought. I think Fnatic must have considered all of these things before they picked that Void up. And Rubik, for the steal, for multiple purposes this game, coming right out for the way too sexy himself, and Bubba picking up the puck, going up against the Storm Spirit, more likely than not against Hani at mid lane. Let's see how Hani does on Storm this time. I think that is the X-Factor hero this game.
It really is, man. It really is. Like, normally I'd say like Void should be like our X-Factor kind of guy, but when you got a Rubik who can steal the Chronosphere, at least on the upside, Void is no longer controlled by his own Chronosphere when it's stolen.
Right.
So he's still free to move. So way too safe. He's going to have to like it is always one of those things where you get really concerned with a Faceless Void if the Chrono is either going to kill your entire team or help your entire team. And I'm not feeling the combination as well from the Chrono. Like you remember, I almost want to go back to the old Akai lineup with the way they used to play it with the Zeus. And you'd have Chrono go, Zeus will trigger his ulti. He never even had to enter the lane to give him the advantage they required from him. And then you had other things where you could have a Lich ultimate was the older combination with the Faceless Void, throwing out his. But what do you get now? You get CM ultimate, you get Venomancer ultimate, you get Windrunner who can do some damage from range. Storm Spirit, gotta be very careful how close he gets in. Static Remnants won't be able to do anything for it, but I'm interested. I'm really interested to see just how effective that Chrono is going to be, or if it's more of a, we need to protect ourselves, and we need to ensure we can kill off the Lifestealer. If we do that, we're fine. Then we go. Maybe that's what this void is just about. It's just literally a single target Chrono. It's not, let's commit into a team fight.
And Toby, you know, some of the words that you mentioned with regards to the Storm Spirit, they're resonating in my head right now, man. I'm looking at the portraits at the top. There is one hero that's extremely exuberant in his electricity and intensifying looks, and that is the Storm with his shiny face and his round top hat. Definitely seems slightly out of place, but for the better, of course. Standing out as a creepy guy, as you would call it. I wouldn't really call him a pervert because I'm not sure what he's looking at. He is behind the CM, but you know, I'll leave the Rule 34 stuff for the people who are interested in that.
The cape's flying out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. Storm Spirit is just so electrifying that maybe he bypasses the laws of physics and what normalizes.
But does she really conduct electricity, being from an icy background?
Ooh, I don't know. But then again, if she's from an icy background, she's not exactly opaque. She's transparent.
I just think she needs someone that can melt her soul. That's why we had the Fire and Ice in Korea. Look at the...
yeah, you're referring to the Game of Thrones, right? Song of Fire and Ice. I like that book. It's
no, I'm referring to both the Lena and the Windrunner cosplayer sitting next to each
other.
Oh,
like in science, you know, Fire and Ice, how they...
No, Clairvoyance.
I like how you think.
I think... Okay, either you are evading on purpose and you don't understand that I'm talking about boobs.
Oh, so Fnatic era is going disco. Come on, Toby. I know exactly.
He can't go disco, man. No, he doesn't have the abilities to go disco.
Dude, he's
like Magnus is the ultimate strobe light. He could go disco. All right, let's run through our lines before they all hit each other. So, Notal will be the Windrunner in this game again. Trixie supporting Venomancer, Hani on the Storm Spirit, Era as the Faceless Void, and that puts Fly as a Crystal Maiden. And heading all down south, we got Fluff and Stuff supporting Mirana, TC, Core, Lifestealer, Way 260 support Rubik, and they are going to be your aggressive tri-lane that are about to get completely caught out. Ward goes down, Notal, have some balls and shackle. Not going to do it. So they'll retreat back out again with their aggressive tri-lane. Bubble will be the puck in the middle lane, and that leaves top lane solo, Koitva, Nature's Prophet.
Man, I really wonder what Fluff would say if he watched the replay just now. I mean, not just now, but I wonder what he would say if he watched the replay. That was a funny situation. All the Fnatic's heroes are like, okay, it's crunch time, boys. It's crunch time. One more step and he's done. And whoop, Fluff decides to turn his tiger butt on the presence of the enemies.
I think he was done anyway, man. There was a tree that was sitting right behind him, ready to take the shackle. Illusion rune for Fluff. What a nice rune, too, to have. Oh, yeah. If you're on the Liquid side, not a single camp shall spawn. It's 2 runes can do that.
Yeah, that's a nice thing for them, of course. I'm actually wondering if that's going to be used for that purpose at this point, because he's going to see the Void.
Well, they've already got one Observer Ward, so that camp's not going to spawn. But you still want to be able to block up these 2 little suckers, so...
Yeah, it's definitely going to go for some intel and blocking up the camps as it is. There we go.
Alright.
But it is Era on the safe lane alone so far, and he is going to get zoned out so hard. I'm not sure if their philosophy of sacking the Void so he just gets levels works anymore. And of course, you can't get the Midas relatively late to catch up. But I'm not sure if Void is good for that purpose anymore.
I'm kind of okay with this. Like, this gets Void some early levels. Like, you may not get a lot of CS, but up on that top lane, Nature's Prophet's getting completely zoned out. Like, your Poison Sting first level up here from Trixie, which, by the way, I'm a massive fan of. I'm a huge fan of not having the Gale up at the early levels, especially when you're running a lane like this, which is a zone-out lane. Like, Trixie is the man who's farming up here on the top lane, so is he a DPS-style Venomancer? But they can move this Venomancer in from, like, going for the standard DPS. Like, he gets the Gale now, so that's okay. But you can go into this build where you get, like, 1-1-4. So then you're just able to push down these towers early on, and your harassment level is ridiculous with those Plague Wards. If you can get him to a point where they can't be picked off, Arrow flies up, Trixie will evade because he turned to put the Gale out and they just profit. Now he is being attacked by Fluff and stuff. No-Tail will come and he's got Power Shot as well as his Wind Run. So he's able to harass Fluff and stuff back out of this lane, while Storm Spirit's being ganked up by both Way2 as well as by Bulba. But he gets himself back far enough he can pop off the salve and live. But yeah, I'm just a massive fan of Poison Sting first on Venomancer these days, as opposed to Gale level 1. Because that's no damage, Gale level 1.
Yeah, unfortunately. And the weird thing about that is that when Trixie decided to turn to Gale, that was the precise moment that pretty much saved him, because if he didn't do that, which was an ironic decision because that Gale actually accomplished nothing for him, then he would have died to the arrow. So what I gotta say, a nice stroke of luck and a good start for Fnatic here with the dual lanes going in their favor, or it seems like, as Arrow is actually getting the levels and the EXP, the levels and the farm rather.
All he wants is this level 6 on this bottom lane. Once he gets level 6, they'll try and pick off TC. That's the goal right now. Even see Era, he's prepping for it. He's got 2 points up in the time lock, as opposed to even getting a single point up in the evasion. Because if he can get one big hit on the live stealer or somebody, he can get a kill. Being picked up, throwing down TC, open wounds, he has to leap himself away. It's only a short range, but it makes him burn through mana.
Yep, nice thing to do. Of course, he will have to use a salve, and regen at the early stages is very limited. So a decent move by Liquid and Fnatic as well, because they're both kind of just exchanging in this scenario. TC has the money for boots, which I'm sure he really wants, and maybe an Orb of Venom even in this lane. But he can't go just walk to the secret shop because he's liable to death. So he'll have to be careful in that regard. I think the most interesting story so far that we haven't paid attention to is, well, the only one we haven't paid attention to is pretty much the mid lane, which seems to be rather going rather well for Hani. Looking at the CS board, 17 to 16, that's really close, and he's doing an excellent job in that regard. Of course, Bulba has the illusion rune, the envy rune, which will allow him to secure either the next rune or offer some potential zoning and harassment coming out, whether he chooses to use it for that purpose or not. And in the meanwhile, Hani is still doing really well in CS.
I'd expect nothing less from a Storm Spirit when, like, both these players have their advantage with the heroes. Like, you've either got the Orb to do the extra damage from Bulba to ensure the last hits and try and get the harassment of Hani, where Hani does static remnants to ensure he can get the last hits or do harassment. Venomancer dies on the top lane. So Trixie and very close on both Koidva as well as Fluff and stuff. And No-Tail unable to help him. No Shackle level 1. I get to have now a 1 for 3 tonight. Silence over on Hani. Way2 is going to come in. He's got a telekinesis available right now, so he'll pick up Hani and throw him up the cliff. Bulba runs away a little bit further, trying to get himself away from that Storm Spirit illusion. At the same time, the salve flew in and he puts the bottle back on the courier.
That was quite interesting how it went down. I actually thought Hani was going to get put down below the hill and be right-clicked to death, and Bulba was able to pop the illusions with the Fade Bolt. But looks like I guess Hani created an uncomfortable scenario for Liquid because he did so much damage and neither of them expected him to do so. So once again, Hani doing a really nice job in that regard, sending in the boots from his courier, I'd imagine, and probably going to rotate the bottle back so he can have the full regen when it rotates back in.
I still have confidence in this top lane.
Arrow, he is dead.
Goodbye, Hani.
Hani at the mid lane.
Yeah, Bulba's in close.
Oh, he's
Wait, what?
He's level 6 already. Whoops. Completely missed that. Wow. I should have known. It's already 5 minutes and there's only like 4 denies coming out, so I'm surprised he had ultimate. I don't know, I didn't see him level up.
You should probably also remember too the changes up with the experience. So even with a range hero like a Storm Spirit, you get a whole lot of deniers and it won't really make as much of a difference. Right. Now that's all 66% instead of the 33. We've got movement coming down from Liquid though. Fluff. He'll have to go for a very long-range arrow here. Open wounds, leaps himself up, and TC sticking with Fly. Starfall will drop and Fly. As a Fade Bolt from Way2. He gets the pick up as well. The telekinesis dragging Era back. He's got his leap away, which he will have to use. Switch himself into the strength treads while he did it too.
Yeah, and he also has the poor man's shield, so I don't think he was at any risk of dying there.
So Team Liquid looking good here in game number 3. Getting themselves very close to a guaranteed... well, hang on, let me... I had it written over on my side. The guaranteed 4th position is what they'll get, which is $3,000.
Very nice thought, of course.
All 5 seconds on the Era. Infest damage as well to commit. Just in cases.
And I was actually just about to touch upon how well Arrow is doing in comparison to what he was expected to do in this lane. But with that death, TC getting a Midas is not going to be punished because even if he dies at level 6 now, he can just go to the jungle and just jungle much faster. So with that Midas pickup, he has so many options so long as he doesn't get punished. And it looks like Fnatic, they probably won't be able to because of the deaths that have come by. That's going to change up the game quite a bit for the mid-game stages. And I'm not sure if Eric can be quite prepared for that because with that death, he is relatively behind.
It's like now he has to become more reliant on the Storm Spirit. Like,
Yep.
Storm Spirit has to make more space for this Void to start farming up. Because we all do know, late game, no one beats a Void. It's... especially if he gets a lot of backtrack chances, there is just no way in the late game to beat a Void. That's why Void and AM used to be our never-ending battles. Because any mage got really, really farmed up, but he capped out in the later portion of the game. But now the Void even does bonus damage during his chrono, it's even better.
Yeah, don't worry, I can vouch for your statement, Toby. Every time I had to face a Void in the late game, he had 100% backtrack chance. You can't kill that guy.
Random generator gets higher.
Yeah, man. It's I don't know, man. Just I've never seen that hero lose late game when it's against me. When I play it, for some reason, I don't know. Team's too heavy. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I do.
Either that or you just spend too much time farming as a faceless Void. Because that is the problem of a Void. He needs an extra farm. Like we saw a Hannah Miles come up on a live steal at a really good timing for him. But top lane probably should be looking up there as Rubik dies. Extra TP's coming in from Bulba. He's going to Dream Call this, but then Venomancer, that ulti was waft. It didn't connect to Bulba. And Fluff and Stuff's on the way in too. No arrow, doesn't have it available, but your Starfall down to Hani. There's your Shackle, flies, won't latch. Tree line, not correct.
What I like about Leap in Dota 2 is, I mean, it works similarly in Dota 1, except with a 0.01 second wind walk. But in Dota 2, the Leap cancels animations, so there was actually a Shackle flying
Honey,
off. Hold on a second.
dragging Fluff, pulling him back so he can steal the Illusion Rune, which means he's going to have a little bit of extra mana, but that orb damage going to come up from Bulba with the Rift as well. Hani staying in close. He's already used the Illusion Rune. They're trying to keep him away with the telekinesis, but the last attacks from the Illusion's coming out. And to get that pick off, Shackle flies, phase shift to evade, but now he doesn't have a phase shift to orb, but he can orb himself away. So he orbs up one way. Notal going to try and stick with him, but Bulba still fast enough to get himself away to safety, but they do lose their Mirana.
Wow. I'm looking at the Storm Spirit play just specifically, and I feel like some of these engagements, Honey's using a little bit too much commitment into the mana, and he is getting out safely, which is nice. But he has no mana. Yeah,
he's not good. He's not good at all, man. Telekinesis just grab him up, pick him down. He got silenced up as well. He's got one more jump in him, attacking onto TC. A lot of support rotated in for the Radiant side. Fluff and Stuff's away. Even our little Roshan Golden Courier was getting attacked. Way too sexy. Does he have enough life points? Yes, he does. That last attack from Venomancer needed to connect. And now TC's in the run too. See, now wouldn't it be really great if you had one level up in that Venomancer Ward, which could apply the Poison Sting? Just saying. Hani, pull, where is it? Static Remnant to start with, then TC, Infest damage. Ash does a lot of damage to Hani. Rages up to evade the power shot from Notal, but Trixie close enough to get the last right click in. So they get the pick up on this live stealer. So 2 cores going down from Liquid and Hani. 10 life points.
Man.
10 life points.
Bottom tower is under
So
attack.
close to a huge MLG YOLO snipe.
If only that arrow was the next level up. How much the Fluff is like, why did I go Starfall? Why did I go extra point in Starfall? It could have just been an arrow.
Yeah, this is where we bash Fluff for, you know.
Yeah, you suck, Fluff. You suck, Fluff.
Yeah, Fluff. You know, you're so bad, man. Why don't you have 3 levels in arrow if you're gonna hit arrows like that, dude? Like, what are you doing, dude? So bad, man. How did you not see that coming? You were gonna kill him with the arrow, dude. Why don't you just level up the arrow, man?
Yeah, prediction, Fluff. I thought you were amazing. Now, you're only slightly awesome.
Now I see you're just a Starfall freak.
Sifco Starfall. Would you like me to get you a star and arrow? Obviously, you want to be a star. Good hardiness jokes. The fact that you even hit that arrow was good.
That was amazing. That really was.
Could you actually imagine Fluff on the other end of that? It's like, man, like I was so great to hit that arrow. Frustrated I didn't get the kill, but still, I think that was a pretty bloody good arrow. Evan tunes into the cast this, listens to the VOD of it later on, and it's just like, wait, what? They flame me after that? Like, sorry, man. That's just...
Yeah, man, you know. You know, he could have been next level, next level, and just knock on Leaf as a whole. I mean, who needs escape mechanisms when you're so strong on offense, right? Like, if you know you're gonna kill your targets, why do you need to leap away?
Nothing but stats and arrow. Nothing but stats and arrow. I don't know if you also noticed too, but Era's already used his Chrono once.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's just come off cooldown now, and Way Too Sexy staying in very, very close to him. Extra TPs on the way to bottom lane, and Bihani jumps up. Grabs Way Too Sexy, pulling him back at Era, looking for a time lock, and he got it on the last hit. Gets the bonus damage and gets the kill.
Yeah, Honey did a really nice rotation there.
TC,
see, this once
TPing
again.
out top lane. I don't think they got enough damage to pick him off. Not while he's raged up. They didn't have the frostbite, but then the TPs come middle lane. Double TPs, No Tail instantly connects on the arrow. Fluff then uses a wonderful Starfall to get the kill in the middle lane.
Ooh, Honey has a Illusion Rune bottled up, so he's ready to get a solo kill. Is he going to go for it? Wow.
No, he doesn't.
I'm surprised he's backing out of this. He has so much everything. He knows that there's no
he doesn't know where the
stuns that are
support is.
available.
If he jumps in and he gets telekinesis, and he's got Nature's Prophet that can jump anywhere across the map as well.
Well, that's the thing. They have
I would be
wards at the
concerned as well.
so they had enough intel for that situation. I'm actually very surprised that he didn't go in there. But I do want to say on the other hand that his rotations have been extremely effective thus far. And the other thing is, I wanted to point out that Era, Toby, he's actually gone for it. He's picked up the 12-minute Midas.
It's really, really late, but I can understand the reason why he's doing it.
Yeah, once you saw TC with that Midas, I think this is actually the only way to compete at this point. Once again, TC pushes the lane. If you can't take the tower, just go to the jungle. And Koifa is doing the same thing together, so they're kind of just team jungling, cuddling with each other, and improving chemistry by sharing with the neutrals and neutral lane. but you know, it gives them the farm, allows them to transition to the mid game the way they were looking to, the way they had it planned in the early game stages. But the X factor in Hani himself, ever-growing presence in this game. If he gets that Orchid, we'll have a justification to that stat earlier, how Storm Spirit actually has an edge over the puck as soon as the laning phase is over, because that Orchid just hard counters up the puck so much and allows Storm Spirit to initiate from all different angles much better and much more fluently.
I think I might have also realized the reason why, to this point, Trixie hasn't gone higher levels up in the Plague Ward. I might almost say, to a point, that it's worth actually not getting points in Plague Wards, and I know that sounds crazy to even say that, but if Rubik gets the steal, he takes the Poison Sting effect with it. So he's basically getting 2 for the price of 1.
True that, Toby. If Rubik gets the steal, man, it's over, man.
He's already got the steal of a level 1 wards, but yeah, it's just
not spamming it though.
No. He doesn't really have a mana pool to spam it yet. When he gets Arcade Boosted, he'll probably do it. But until that point, he's going to be a little bit more cautious.
Ooh, next bomb on Hani.
Yeah, they found him. Dream Call being used as well, and they get themselves a kill. And this will just be a straight push into the tier 1 tower now in the bottom lane. Way too almost enough lane to pick up Arcanes. Is he going to sell a branch?
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, he sells a branch, picks up Arcanes. Double TPs coming, in fact, triple TPs with Era. They're getting a look at themselves. Shackle. Oh, the line.
Oh, man.
Leap in. Chrono, he can catch out 3 right now, almost on the max edge, but with the Mirana ultimate, it's making it impossible. Bulba jumps in for a 3-man silence on the back of his rift.
Wow.
And Fnatic don't initiate. They backed off.
I can't believe he didn't chrono that. They saw the shackle before the ultimate.
Yeah. And even then, like, even with the Mirana ultimate, the chrono reveals the Invis unit.
Yeah,
so
that was 2 guaranteed kills with the follow-up nukes coming from the Windrunner and the Crystal Maiden, along with the right clicks, depending on how lucky you are. Well, I am so surprised they just let that opportunity pass in front of them. That is insane, because they know the puck did not have Dream Coil. At best, he could have come with a Waning Rift as well as an Orb. Depending on the direction he orbed, he was dead meat. An extra kill going in favor of Era. So I am actually so surprised that they let kill opportunities like that pass in front of them. And speaking of kill opportunities at the mid lane, Honey going down in exchange of the Priestess. And I gotta say, a fair trade. Bubba's doing a really nice job of shutting down the Storm
Shackle.
Spirit.
Lashes on Way Too Sexy. Gale through. The ward's going to focus him down too, and then comes the chrono from Era. Bulba's already jumped down. He's attacked on a fly, and now he goes to No Tail as well. That DD rune is still having its effect. He'll go over to Trixie. Bulba is just man-biting this. Down to Era. No backtrack. It's an ultra kill coming out from Bulba. While the rest of them have to deal with the chrono from Era, Bulba just has himself a picnic, feasting on the corpses of Fnatic.
Oh dear. Oh dear. I think the the lack of initiative as well as the over-aggression coming out of Fnatic over the last 1 minute might have cost them a lot more dearly. Cost them a lot more dearly than they expected. That is so big. With the tower going down and now Bulba, if he doesn't rotate, if he gets a little bit more greedy here, doesn't rotate straight to base and picks up that haste rune, that is a guaranteed another kill for him. And you know what? He is doing just that. He is going to get that haste rune, which means Storm Spirit's not going to get it. And that is reign over the enemy jungle for the next couple of minutes after he heals. That is so many different advantages going in favor of Liquid right now. Era, who has picked up the Midas and picked up a relatively fast Mask of Madness to follow suit. I thought Fnatic had a lot of things going for them for a few moments, with Hani being so successful on a couple of rotations. Now the tables have completely turned. Boba with the ultra kill, so much closer to the sheepstick, and now Wei2 is shackled up at the mid lane. But they're not going to get it. Oh, yes they are.
He's got 10 stick charges. Arrow flies and they'll buy him a little bit of extra space. He'll use all of his stick charges, in fact. And Fluff also uses his ultimate to ensure Wei2 gets away to safety, but then again with the dust, doesn't matter.
Yeah, the arrow flying in really set the course for his escape, because it forced the heroes to rotate back, thinking, okay, we're gonna get ganked, so we should just get out, not commit. And it was a wise choice coming out of Fnatic. If they stuck around any longer, they might have hid with their lives. But as it stands, man, Toby, those once again, that lack of chronosphere on those two shackle targets. I actually have absolutely no idea. I've never seen pros pass up opportunities like that before. It just seems so uncharacteristic of Fnatic to miss kill opportunities like that.
It did seem really weird, man. It did seem really weird. Right now, though, Liquid, they're so close to one guaranteeing themselves $3,000. But beyond that, being able to get yourself through first season ever at the Championship League. You've only just managed to scrape yourself through, because they went through 2-2. EG were the ones who ended up losing to Fnatic, and by doing so, they were completely knocked out of the D2CL. So EG ended up in 4th position. VP didn't get a single win. They joined Team Dignitas, now recently disbanded. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time to get yourself into the semi-finals. Fly moving up. There's a jump in right now with the silence on the Era. Dream Call. Now it's going to wear off that silence. He throws out the ulti, but he's dead instantly. Prophet Alma bounces through him. The Shackle, who was holding Fluff as well as Wei2 there, but the Meg Charge will pop. And TC now to focus over on Trixie. Got enough damage for a TP's out. Yes, they do. With the Fade Bolt, Livesteal will also get the last hit. And Bulba, he's diving in deeper. He goes on a mega kill streak right now. At least there's one bit of extra nice part for Fnatic. They get the Mirana, but they lose almost everything else.
Oh, Bulba, what a beast, man! It's always amazing me with all of these spectacular plays. You know, just so fantastic.
He's quick, he's fast, he's moving, and with the haste rune and the smoke, that was a straight and jump. The fact they managed to kill off Era, like Era's chrono went, and he threw it out just as this last like.
No, Bulba senpai, please.
What? What did he get?
What? What happened? What happened?
I don't know, man.
Did you say something?
I think I did, but let's just move on. As you say, Bulba just picks up an invis rune.
That he does, man. That he does.
And Livestealer's got Infest off court and 8 seconds time.
Oh, what do you know? I see the same thing. I'm glad we're on the same page, though.
Yeah, you're just thinking next initiation. And look, Fluffer stuff sets up with the Observer wards as well as the Sentry wards.
Yep, to ensure the fact that Bulba is not going to be scouted out on his spying tactics.
Yeah, he's not even doing it with a Livestealer. He's becoming a walking ward for them, but he can get himself almost. He can actually get himself a 5-man Dream Call. Are they going to smoke up? That'll be really the worst possible thing that could happen to him right now. Fly's got 2 smokes. Yeah, they back it up and they get a smoke. And it looks like they're going to walk the very. Oh, okay, they were about to walk the long way around, and now that it's going to go up a little bit closer, Hani. He sees Fluff there. Storm jumps him. He's going on way too sexy. That chrono was stolen by Fluff and stuff. He doesn't get it off in time. I thought he was about to get it off and just save his life. But it was not possible.
Oh, next bomb round 2 coming in with a haste rune this time.
Waka waka waka. Just like last time as well. He had that haste rune when he jumped in before too. That's how they got the initiation so quickly onto the storms, onto the light. The guy who has a chrono and no eyes, the Faceless Void.
Yeah, The one without a face, man.
The one with a Mask of Madness now.
Oh dear, and you know what? They're walking directly.
It's a trap! It's a trap! Silence on Honey, Dream Call on 2, Trixie called out as well, and Fluff and Stuff, he used his arrow to help out with the Starfall damage that more than enough Koidfa force-staffing himself in close just so he can look into the eyes of Venomancer as he
Are they really
leaves
gonna
this
chase? I'm thinking, knowing Liquid's tendencies, they should probably just go straight into the Roche pit right now.
world.
So I'm surprised they even chased for those couple of moments, but it looks like Bulba's just gonna rotate the top lane, see if there's a rune. Probably not, because it is 1 minute since the spawn, and yeah, there it is. Rotation with the Prophet, with the Lifestealer. They have plenty of damage to take out the Roshan and steal the Aegis and claim the victory, or try to claim the victory with much ease following the events.
I got a funny feeling the Venomancer has got 1 level in the last 10 minutes.
Why is that?
Oh, he's level 9. Like, we checked him out 15 minutes ago when he got the first point up in his Plague Ward. And he already had 3 points up in Gale and the 2 points up in Sting at that point. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know, Toby, you know. I mean, I'm not shallow like you. I've been checking him out for quite some time now.
See, you can't have my attention all the time. Sorry.
Unless you're Natalie Portman.
No, even then she has to wait.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, go. Work's got to be done, man. Dota's got to be played.
Oh, that's true, man. That's true. Can't get women in between our work, you know what I'm saying?
Reason why I'm still single.
I'm sure that's exactly why, dude.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the reason. I'm sure there's no deformities.
But you know who's not single right now is Bulba. He's got a nice companion, known as the Lifestealer, TC, inside of him. Of course, it was vice versa at TI for way too long, but not many people are probably going to get that reference, so I'm just going to go on and say that...
I get the reference, man.
Thank you. Reference. You always got my back, man.
Yeah, got you, bro. Top tier 1 tower's now going to go down. Easy push from the Dire side, and they just want to force out the fight. The more towers they take as well, the faster Puck's going to finish up your side device, which is pretty damn close to. And what's the courier from bringing in? It's the double Oblivion Stars for Koidfa. It's almost got enough money to finish up the Orchid. And it looks like Fnatic are just trying to avoid the fight at all costs. We've got Trixie who's farming up the bottom lane. There's his extra levels. Booyah. And then the top lane will be defended while the mid lane was being pushed in by 2 heroes. So Liquid, they come back. They come back to defend. And they're in no rush right now. They're in no rush. They know here in the mid game they control it all. As long as they have all abilities off cooldown, they have their key items up and running. We've already got like a Haste Rune Lifesteal build with the S and Y build up on him. And the Orchid that can be picked up in Nature's Prophet. We've got Mirana, who's got, well, really nothing. Arrow going in, checking the tree line, nothing's in there. Rubik's almost got Blink Dagger. These are the key items which Liquid are searching for. Once they're done, I don't think they'll ever fall back. They won't wait. There's no reason to. Even if there's a Chrono going to be used, there's just no reason to.
Yeah. I don't think they can, even if they wanted to, honestly. Like, at this point, there's so many items that they kind of... Everybody just farms the whole map so quickly. There's not enough to the point where you kind of just have to rely on farming Fnatic's heroes. But the reason I say that so convincingly in favor of Liquid is because we can play match and compare for a second. We look at Koidfa's items, Toby. He's got an entire Midas, Mechanism, and a Force Staff on top of the enemy mid player, who's not even finished his Orchid. Dare we say Liquid has quite a bit of advantage right now.
Gang middle lane, jump in with the DD rune from Bulba. Both No-Tail and Fly caught out. Silenced up, point blank range arrow from Fluff and Stuff. Stops the TP out. They get the follow-up onto the Crystal Maiden. And that TP really came quickly from Liquid. They used the Mirana ultimate halfway through that too. And speaking of the key items, there's your Blink taken out from Fluff and Stuff. Now it's not one step back, we go Russian style.
Middle tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
and honestly, I don't think there's anything on the side of Fnatic that can stop this at this point. It's just way too much farm coming out. It's incredible how much farm Liquid is able to get on not only just a couple of their heroes with Midases, but at this point, just everybody's rocking farm. You know, Bulba's got the Blink Dagger as well as the Slice of Eyes, ready to kick in any time, any given moment with an initiation. As you said, the critical item with the Blink Dagger on way too sexy on the Rubik. And don't get us started on the Midas heroes with the Lifestealer as well as the Prophet. They are just they're farmed like a man possessed, like men possessed. That's what they are.
And they got a lot to show for it too. the Basher, now up for TC. And, like, what do you get? Like, what's your core items? Like, your off-laner for Fnatic was a Venomancer Windrunner. And Windrunner didn't get the farm. Windrunner gets the mech and arcane boost for the team, but we're not looking like EGM style with Orchid, with Control, with Disables. And Venomancer gets Naganim Scepter. Now, that's nice for the team fights, but it's still heavily reliant on our man Era getting his combination off, which right now he can't really do, but he is getting close to an item which will help him to do so. And that's in 230 or so gold. He'll have himself a BKB up and running. And that's going to be probably his biggest critical thing, if he can catch Liquid out of position.
Yeah. The problem is, how do you catch a team out of position when anytime they're quote-unquote out of position, they can turn the fight on you and possibly just take it all because they can overwhelm you with so much more level and so much more farm. It's just a difficult game and an uphill battle for Fnatic, no matter how you see it from this point on. If it's not just the telling of the tale with levels and farm and tower count, it's the fact that Liquid was able to take so much more with map control and completely dominate the map and kind of starve out Fnatic at this point. Once again, Hani at the mid lane, you know, he has the Orchid, he has the Treads, he has the Bottle. You compare that to somebody like Koipa, who has been on the off lane, and yeah, sure, he's a prophet, so he's expected to have farmed up relatively nicely. But he's got an entire like 7k on him as somebody else, and even Bulba at the mid lane has all the items that he needs to counter up a Storm Spirit, designed to counter his hero, by the way, with the Orchid. So it's no surprise that Liquid can play this aggressively and kind of just dive through behind the tier 2 and secure the kill.
Boom!
Here we go.
Boom! Boom! There goes no tell.
Yep, that almost looks too easy. It really does. And I know once again they're just making it look so easy with everything they have. The momentum they've picked up right now. Fnatic, can they freeze it? Can they crush it with Chronosphere? This is their last defense. If they can hold it in their base, they have a chance, but there's a lot of items coming in Liquid, and they're not stopping. Yep,
they're coming up, man. Tier 3 tower at least. Arrow flies down, 5 seconds on flight.
Oh, man.
And that's now 2 of the support heroes, both the support heroes on the sideline. TC did use Rage for that, and we have to take into account too his AUC model has already been reclaimed. So they cannot use that, but with the army being created, Era get the ulti off. Storm Spirit jumps out, cancels off way too sexy, get power shot available, but still, there's no damage, there's no kill coming up from this. Forced up away, the meg charge has been done too. Venomancer Rolly didn't do enough, and he actually stole Chrono, blinks in, and he got the Chrono. Trixie held in position, Noritel's in here. Remember, Era isn't affected by Chronosphere, but they're able to pick up the Storm Spirit because that. Venomancer will buy back into this game, so will the Nature's Prophet, and Liquid will decide to fall themselves back now. They didn't take the tower, however, but they got themselves some buybacks. Man, we got buyback by Prophet, buyback by Venomancer. I suppose that's not really as much as, like, that's not really as great as I thought it was going to be. Not for Liquid, at least.
Yeah, that's right. Like, it wasn't as bad as I'd expected for Fnatic, especially when both their support heroes got caught.
This could be a good chance. If they can get the last 2 on both TC as well as, there it is, Shackle hits right now on Lifestealer, and Era just opens up. The arrow from Fluff, though, will connect, and then Infest, he actually got him! He picks him up and takes him away! While the puck jumped in there as well, Bulba runs himself away, and Fluff and stuff. Get your teammate out to safety. Shackles turn around. It's on Koifa. He's going to trigger off his ultimate right now. Get this ulti up and running. There she flies. And Fluff and stuff. Storm Spirit just goes straight over the top of him. Koifa standing its ground. Bulba jumping in and out again. Trixie sent up in the air. Way Too Sexy just behind him. Looking for the pickup on him. And the Thunder Lizard's almost helping out Way Too Sexy. Fade Ball. Power Shot. He's got it available. Triggers. Releases. Rubik will survive. Hani's coming back to try and pick him off. He needs a TP scroll, though. He can blink in 1 second. No, he can't. The poison key is ticking out his blink dagger every single time. But it doesn't matter. It becomes a 4-for-3 trade.
With nobody in pursuit, the Rubik will get out scot-free, which is nice of him. A nice engagement for Fnatic, just as you called it. They got the initial shackle on the Lifestealer, who didn't have armlet.
They didn't get the kill. Like, why did Liquid go back in? They were away with their heroes, but they decided to re-enter.
Actually, you know what I think? I think they should have just stayed in the whole time. Like, Fluff and stuff should have stayed in the area, so the infest damage would have done 400 AoE. Because Bulba came in and dropped all of his nukes, and that's what prompted them to return, right?
Yep.
But by the time Bulba actually just dropped his nukes and got out with his orb, that's when Fluff and TC decided to go back in. So I think it was actually a miscommunication.
And then Prophet TPs directly into the fight before he triggers off the ultimate too. Like they had themselves kills beforehand if that ulti just managed to bounce around and hit the heroes before like to the end of the engagement, which is when it did get triggered.
Yeah, so it was definitely not the most flawless performance as a team coming out of them just in that engagement. But if they played it a slightly better and communicated a little bit better amongst themselves, they might have just taken it right there because they had so much more going for them in that moment. Fnatic had invested so much in trying to drop TC's life bar that the remaining heroes that rotated in, whether it was the Storm Spirit or the Venomancer, I'm not sure how much they would have accomplished on their own without the spells of their supports.
I love watching Rubik when he has other people's abilities. It's just his casting animation right then. Where Rubik's go, he doesn't need a quiver. he just summons the arrows like a Quincy does. It's great. It's magical.
It is.
What do we got? We got Yule Scepter for Bulba. Almost. There it is. Boom. Yule Scepter. Now done. So we get double disable from him with a blink and the Yule Scepter. Also the ability to dispel if someone gets themselves caught in a little bit too deep. While Lifestealer, okay, Infest combination time. And he's 300 gold away from his full Abyssal Blade too on that Lifestealer. So if this gang is successful, we get Abyssal Blade up and running. While Fnatic, they're actually 5-man smoking. Flufferstuff sitting here with an Invis rune, and if he walks up right now, he's going to reveal off the smoke. They may have just seen the Venomancer ward being planted. They can't find anybody. The trees are looking in, they see Roshan's alive. But with all of Fnatic missing, Liquid are being very, very defensive. In fact, Quarterfinal's going to split push it.
Away. They're not taking any risks.
Right now, I'm wondering if Fnatic should even, because they don't know where Liquid is. Like, you see Prophet TP top lane, my first thought was like, oh, maybe Roshan, 5-second arrow on Era. Do they jump on this? Orb comes in, there's going to be no jaunt, even though the Infest is there, and Era's already on 600 life points. So they use the range harassment to try and pick him off. And now use Mirana ultimate. Arrows off cooldown in 1 second time. If Fluff can get himself a connection, leaps up. The TPs are already going out. Leaps away from Era. The arrow will fly, and that actually forces Fly to come back. Bulba, Infest out. They're going to open wounds directly after that. Yule Scepter as well. Trying to get Bulba out of the Frostbite. And successful at doing so, but still only support hero taken out for Liquid's rotation.
Yeah, you know what? If Bulba had a blink there, I think he would have definitely gone for the big play. It was the 1 position and the 2 position hero lined up side by side in the Void as well as the Storm Spirit, just as they were going up the hill back into their base. If he had the blink dagger, he would definitely gone in with an orb and the coil and the waning rift, and then probably hexed up the Void so he can't pop the BKB, and then the Lifestealer would have probably just gone to work with them. So, unfortunately for him, he used the blink dagger to get closer into that area, which is why that was possible in the first place. So
they found one
to him there, but Quipla does snipe one out.
Trixie caught out, orchid it up, arrowed up, and then Bulba kills Secures with the rift. As he'll go into his next item now. Also to note too, Lifestealer has AC finished. It's sitting back in its inventory. That courier, okay, someone's mismicroing it.
Yeah. Now it's going back to pick it up now. And I'd imagine they would wait for it just to play it extra safe. Although they can probably walk in right now just because they still have their spells up, or the majority of it. And
while Venomancer's down too, they know there's no ward set up either. So they don't have a whole lot of these stupid plague wards that's going to keep them out and slow them down. Nice rage by TC, is going to evade that shackle. And even if they don't take the racks right now, taking the towers more importantly. That was also very, very smooth by Way Too Sexy. Blinks in, steals 4 staffs away, and evades the attack from Fnatic. They're going to keep this pressure on, and Quarterfinal starts to split push on top lane too. They've got to keep that pressure on all sides. This is why we were talking about like Prophet before. Who really cares about his item build at the end of the day? Because he can do anything and everything. Like, you got a Nature's Prophet on the field who's walking around with 2 different forms of disable as well as a repositioner. And he's able to split push out the lanes. You don't need Vlads. Having a mech definitely does help out with all that kind of stuff, but you don't need to have Mjolnirs to push out. You don't need to have all your Desolators or your Shadow Blades. It's not essential anymore for a Nature's Prophet. It's just a great hero just based on his basic abilities.
Yeah. So much potential on what he can give you just by the core nature of his spells. And now Liquid's just proceeding to farm up the enemy jungle. I do wonder if they're going to wait for another Aegis rotation, because I feel like they could take this pretty convincingly at this point with the Aegis. So I'm not too sure what exactly they're waiting for. Maybe somebody's got another item that's close to completion.
The only thing would be Rubik's Acronym Scepter is the last thing. Everything else is right. Maybe they could think about Flufferstuff's damage, but he went to Fuser Blade. He's going a different start of this. The Abyssal Blade from Lifesteal is way too far off. You have to wait another maybe 3 or 4 minutes before we can have a full Abyssal Blade.
Yeah, they're actually going to play this extra carefully, I think. And I'm not too sure if they're content with it or not, but this is the route that they have taken. And it looks like for the most part they are ready for it, because Lifestealer has now become the passenger of Quake Buff.
Okay.
Looks like they really do want to find an opportunity, but at this point I'm not sure how willing Fnatic is to leaving their base. I mean, the last couple of kills, like the Venomancer kill, for example, that just seemed all too easy. As soon as the smoke ran out and Liquid kind of revealed a couple of cards here and there, the Venomancer just walked out into the enemy jungle zone and got out completely alone. So I don't think that kind of stuff is going to happen again.
Oh, here we go. Some chat trivia while we wait for Liquid to make up their mind. Only 2 heroes have built Aghanim's up to 50 or more times in pro play during 6.79. Who are they? 50 heroes Aghanim Scepter. I need to bring up my hero profile page on the side.
My one guess would be not the Rubik. What is that hero?
Not the Rubik.
You know that hero
there's a lot of them left after that, man.
Yeah, you know that hero with Aghanim Scepter. You know.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that one guy. And you know that other guy that's like a little bit bigger than him.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
The Aghanim's gives him a nice boost on his ultimate, yeah.
Preach to me. Preach to me.
Alright, I'm not even gonna lie. I actually know it, but let me just think. This is
just to think about it more, cause
No. I know this. I know this.
Because I would probably say Night Stalker, but I'm not quite sure about Night Stalker if he's been played like long enough like to get to an Aghanim Scepter.
Oh, okay, I remember now. Okay, Visage.
Yeah, Visage should be dead. That definitely #1.
Yeah.
But then we need another number 2. In the meantime, top racks have been taken down. So right now, TC, trouble. It's dust coming up, but he's just still bringing down the racks. These trees doing the rest of the job. The arrow is 4 seconds over on Fly on the stun. Shackle won't latch. Power shot damage. Is someone going to blink in there and fade bolt him? I was waiting for it. I think Bulba just attempted that. He just rifted the air. And got his combination limit wrong right then.
Yeah, Fly's life points have kind of just diminished and is being slowly regened up by the Tranquil Boots.
Look at TC. He just doesn't care. He's got Aegis the Immortal. Why should he? He's Aegis the Immortal and he's got Infest possibilities. Another arrow is going to fly in. This time it won't connect. But the top rack's already gone. And Liquid lose nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. The Aegis will be reclaimed in 1 second time. Maybe they could try and force out the middle a bit more, but knowing Liquid, we just go full-on split push, which means down to the bottom lane while the top lane does its thing, and Prophet throws ulti every now and then. And Bob's your uncle, you go in.
Yeah, they're definitely giving a tremendous amount of respect to Fnatic's ability to come back in the void with the in the void.
I'm down with the chat, by the way, for the trivia. Well, we have to wait a second. Hero's jumping in. Silenced up. Arrow flies in, but Honey's BKB will soak it up. He jumps in deeper over towards Bulba to pick him up. But at the same time, TC, he's your main damage dealer, Hani. Now he's got himself a little bit more time. He runs up towards the high ground. Chrono is down 2, trying to beat down Koi for 3 heroes on the sidelines, and they're all ticking out from this Venomancer ultimate. And TC doesn't have Infest available. Aegis the Immortal, it's going to get reclaimed, but is it going to get reclaimed before he's going to die right now? He's being harassed, he's being controlled. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. He's going to kill off Fly. Time lock, 1 second, and now Aegis is gone.
Oh.
They waited him out for the Aegis of the Immortal, and TC will die. All of Liquid are on the sidelines. They are still, however, racks up, but...
That was brilliant. I don't think I've actually ever seen that before. Did you? Or the enemy team times it out so perfectly that they actually have heroes surrounding the enemy hero and just kite them until the Aegis actually expires. I've actually never seen that in competitive before. That is such a good timing and such good teamwork coming out of them. That is...
someone knows how to keep a stopwatch over on the side. Beyond that, though, like it's almost hilarious considering their movements during game number 1 when they just walked inside the pit even before Roshan had a potential to spawn up again. So we've definitely got both sides of the coin here from Liquid.
Yeah, that's right. The Aegis does heal the player over, but it was only able to last about for 500 HP worth for TC. Not enough to really keep him intact in terms of surviving 4 hero right clicks, but did a nice job, and once again, a really good play coming out of Fnatic. Something that was Very impressive out of them, really. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Well, you can add that one to your list. So, Visage number 1, Clockwork number 2. So the chat was right about the Clockwork being number 2. But that's not far behind for the Viper, with 47 for him. Surprising Juggernaut and as well as Venomancer get to go up that high, but I suppose that's the effect of a hand of Midas on the Venomancer. That he's able to afford up these Aghanim Scepters all the time.
As for the Juggernaut part, you can thank Loda for that.
Yeah. Thanks, Loda.
That guy does it religiously.
Thanks, Loda.
Yeah, thanks Loda for all the Aghanim Scepters that you've built on Juggernaut.
Make you burn in hell.
Oh man, it's such a wonky build that works out so nicely for Alliance. He always does it perfectly, like buys the Midas and has Yasha, so he has a bit of damage and extra movement speed.
Koifa?
What about Koifa?
He just dropped his mech.
He's going full damage, man. He realizes that at this point the mech is not exactly enough to keep them into doing anything further. And I see why they gave so much respect to Fnatic now, but honestly that point of initiation right in front of the tier 3 tower, I don't think Liquid could have picked any worse scenarios to initiate than that. I mean, Era was so hard to take down, and we could see that for sure because the backtrack completely negated so much damage. But at the same time, picking tier 3 or picking a fight right in front of the enemy tier 3 against Storm and Void, it's really just begging for a counter initiation.
Yeah. Speaking of counter initiation, Mr. Rubik now going to be stealing abilities every 5 seconds, or at least in 40 gold time. If they give him one last hit down here on the bottom, yeah, he's asked for it too. Yep, there you go. Way to Sexy now has an Aghanim Scepter Rubik. I've only ever seen this once before. I've only seen it once. And by the time it arrived, it was already too late.
Yeah, I think a lot of players wanted, when they were anticipating the patch, a lot of players wanted to see Kuroki in action with that scepter. I did too. To see how effective it would be in a real match, of course. But most of the time, unfortunately, the match is over. This one, however, is not over.
Oh, this one's still going, man. This one's still going. I still would have liked to see Nature's Prophet drop the Hand of Midas and keep the mech. So maybe it's just my personal kind of thing.
I'd like to see him drop the Midas and pick up a BKB.
that'll be nice. But if we're looking at damage output, then he's going to go Daedalus here. That's one big pig. The arrow will come in from Arana too to give the extra stun, and that Roshan is dead. How quick does he die?
I've seen that pig plenty of times over the last week, trust me. All those Dire Tide attempts, man, oh gosh. Causing nightmares in my sleep.
See, I haven't been able to do that. I've been in Korea. I've been traveling. And sleep
but you got pictures with Korean cosplayers. Did you see those girls, man? That's a luxury of a lifetime.
Yeah, I suppose I could say I'm a lucky man.
You are.
Bottom lane, we've got Fnatic coming out. We work so hard. Volva works so hard. Fnatic's coming out. They're looking for Honey. Jump in. Going on way too sexy. Orca as well. Bulba can't stop him with the BKB up from Honey. 4-star away. Way too. He can't steal anything. He's dead straight away. Era's still down here right now, and he doesn't know where to jump in on. But they're going to back up. Fnatic have to back up because that top lane's pushing in again against him. That Rax is always going to come back to haunt them.
Yeah, it really is. But the good thing is that the item progression on Fnatic is not exactly getting hindered. We saw the BKB coming out by Honey in the last fight and in the previous engagement before as well. So Era has also picked up a Daedalus ever since the previous engagement. So yeah, their item progression on their core heroes, on their important heroes is quite nice and not exactly getting hindered.
It's a good thing we say for new players. It is a luxury item. It's not a core item for a Rubik. But the fact he's 5-0 with it. Yeah, I don't know if this is really going to change up though, because Liquid obviously with their winning streak doesn't want to really lose out on this. But the fact that at this point Liquid is almost 20,000 experience in front, and they are about 27, 28,000 worth of gold in front. Like, this will be beyond the level of EG if they lose this.
Well, you know what though? If you wanna stage a comeback, the heroes that Liquid have are rather susceptible to Fnatic's heroes. I mean, you look at the most basic counters in the game we're talking here with Void against the Lifestealer. Void in the late game just doesn't take damage from Lifestealer for many reasons, whether it's the Chrono or the backtrack. The Storm Spirit initiating on a Puck or a Prophet, especially when they're core heroes, means that it's just a direct counter. And it was going so well for them on the other end of the spectrum, because once again, Bulba was so farmed and Koifa was so farmed. But as I was mentioning with Fnatic and how their farm progression is still rather steady on their core heroes, it's starting to look a little bleak for Liquid. So I feel like Liquid, once again, falling into this stage of complacency and giving too much respect to the enemy team not getting things done is hurting them. And I'm looking at TC's
it kind of feels a little bit
right
like DK on the weekend too, because they did exactly the same thing up against Alliance. They were the ones who had the advantage, and because they waited for the next Aegis, they gave that window of opportunity for the farm to come, for these key items to come up, which will allow you to win a team fight.
Yeah, that Animage, man, that hero, how many misleading things he gives to so many different players. It's just
Storm,
it's not a free
jump,
key to
bottom lane. They initiate on Rubik again. The Shackle will try and latch up, but TC into rage. He bashes up on Hani. He's going to get that kill. TC being more than a man. He's outside the Chrono. They didn't get him in the middle of that one. And now Chrono is stolen by Way Too Sexy. He's attacking on top of Fly. And Void will die at the back end. The arrow will take out the Crystal Maiden. And Notal pickling it up and destroyed. What a Chrono steal from Way Too Sexy. And he managed to fit him in the middle of the two Chronos. And the fact that Era's Chrono was just a little bit too far away from TC.
Yeah, that... My oh my. If he didn't take an extra 1,200 damage while he dropped the Chronosphere, he might have been able to kill another target or two, and that might have toppled the momentum of this fight. But as it stands, slightly misplacement along with Way Too Sexy being able to follow up and disable 2 of his teammates, enemy teammates. Wow. That was a close one. It seems like Liquid had it upper hand and just toppled it by single-handedly, but that was really close, man. If the Chronosphere positionings were a little bit different, if they were slightly towards the left or right, the fight could have been still going.
It really could have been, man. Either way, though, that now means the Fnatic are eliminated from the D2CL, and they will walk away with no prize money. Unfortunately, the prize money only goes to the top 4 teams, which Liquid are now in. So they have a guaranteed $3,000. However, we need to know who they're going to be playing up against, and that is what we're going to decide in just a moment. We will have Alliance going up against Sigma in a game which both teams decided it will be played as a best of 1, not a best of 3. It is the last game to be played from the group stages, and decides who faces up against Team Liquid and who, if they lose, go up against Na'Vi in that quarterfinal matchup. Single elimination playoff, that's the way it is done, so stay tuned, people. We'll see you back here shortly for our last game of the night.